Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. A couple of DC Extended Universe news dropped today. The first being is just something from a insider. His name is Justin Crow, and I know we've all been crolled before, but this time it really is about the DC Extended Universe. But of course, he is giving us a little caution there right at the beginning. This is what he had to say. Take this with a grain of salt as things are constantly changing in the DCEU, but I'm hearing the Penguin is possibly the choice to play the main villain in the Batman. Sources add even if Reeves decides to go another route, the studio could then make him the villain in Birds of Prey. Reeves is still working on the script, so that could always change, but of the multiple Birds of Prey scripts submitted, one does have the Penguin as the main heavy. Either way, it seems Warner Brothers wants this character cast in universe sooner rather than later. Now, I don't know if Josh Gad is still in the running or he still wants to be the Penguin or they're really taking that seriously, but that's an interesting choice in itself. Penguin as for the villain for the Batman. That is interesting. I mean, he is a real big deal. Cobblepot is real big deal in Gotham. I mean, he's kind of like the main villain in that one too, although the Joker kind of plays into more of that, but he was pretty prominent since the beginning, and you see the Penguin's rise, and it's really a lot of it's the Penguin story. So that could be a thing where they're saying, well, the Penguin's pretty popular, let's put him in there, let's make him the villain. I would rather have had from before Deathstroke, where they were going to say Deathstroke was going to be the villain for the Batman. Of course, that was during the time of Ben Affleck being the director of the Batman, so Matt Reeves doing it something differently could be very interesting in itself. I don't know if it's still a trilogy or not. If it is, then yeah, maybe the Penguin could be one of the main villains of the trilogy, but I kind of want that Deathstroke, but hopefully they can throw that in there somewhere. But a new Penguin for the movies, that should be very interesting. And certainly probably really different from Danny DeVito's Penguin, and I can't wait to see what they have in mind. I mean, what is this timeline? Are we still going back to the origin of Batman, or is this after? Are we actually going to finally see what they're talking about? How remember the days of exploding penguins, as Alfred had said in Justice League? We're actually going to see that as an homage to the Justice League movie from before. Who knows? But that's interesting. Finally, we get to hear a little bit about that. If that's true or not, we'll see if Matt Reeves even comes out and says that's not true or this is true. He seems to do that a lot in terms of the trades, putting out stories. So we'll see. If he's pretty quiet, then maybe there is something to it. But they definitely want Penguin in there, rather Birds of Prey, which is actually quite fitting because he is a bird. So that could be something in itself. But let's move on. Next subject is Aquaman. Now, we've been hearing a little bit, not very much about Aquaman, and that might be a good thing. Walter Hamada seems to have a tight ship, puts his cards close to his chest, and not talking about it too much. But this is pretty good. This is really good news. Is that we are now hearing that Industrial Light and Magic is the one that is actually doing the VFX for Aquaman. They've been working on Aquaman, and we're like, whoa, Industrial Light and Magic. And I know some people are like, what? Oh my God, and it's actually the trade's fault, really. Okay, so the articles come out and they're saying the people who did Avengers and Black Panther is doing Aquaman. Like, what are you trying to do? Start a war? Come on, this ILM. Industrial Light and Magic is a legendary VFX company. They've done tons of projects. They started Star Wars. George Lucas started Industrial Light and Magic with Star Wars. If you go to the website or even Wikipedia or something, go Industrial Light and Magic, you'll see all these movies they used to have done. And when I was back and trying to get my art degree and getting into digital arts, Industrial Light and Magic was one of the companies that is like, that'd be the dream to work for. They've done Pirates. I'm going to name some water type movies, right? right? Just so you know. But Avatar, all the Pirates movies. They did Titanic. They did a ton of movies. Maybe if I can pull it up here. I mean, you know the basic ones in Indiana Jones, Star Wars. They pretty much founded Pixar and stuff like that. Let's see here. Let's see if we can. Okay, so look at me. Saving Private Ryan. If you want to name the big ones, The Mummy, the Deep Blue Sea had water in it, but the sharks weren't that, great. The Perfect Storm, Mission, Mummy Returns, Pearl Harbor, AI, all the Jurassic Parks, pretty much. A lot of real good ones here, like a ton of stuff. And all the way back from 1977 to now, and they've done quite a number of stuff. I guess they're doing the next Avengers film as well. They're doing Aquaman. They did Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Solo, a Star Wars story. Even though that movie was fine, the effects were phenomenal. Ready Player One. Man, there is a lot. They even did Mother. I never watched that movie, but I guess there are some effects in that. Kong Skull Island. There's just a ton of stuff. You got to go to Star Wars Force Awakens. There we go. So, well, I already said Star Wars. But they've done a ton of effects, and they're really, really good at it. Now, some of you are going to say, well, this so-and-so, this movie, the effects were there crappy, like Black Panther. Yeah, I agree. Black Panther was a good movie, but the train fight scene was horrible and rubbery. The rhinos, oh my God, it's not that great, of course. But it is up to the director. The director really has a lot of final say in how the things look. He could probably go back to Industrial Light and Magic and say, that don't look too good. Let's work on it more. Let's just perfect how that's done. Let's work on it. And it's kind of like for us Zack Snyder fans who, I think you've done work with Weta, but he would perfect it. He would want to say, just keep working at it, keep working at it. And if he did Justice League, and if he continued Justice League, he would have really made sure Steppenwolf looked perfect before going up. I mean, look how cool. Look how awesome Zod's armor look. The whole time we're thinking that is an actual prop armor. And then when you're watching a movie and then you find out later the whole thing was CG, that is phenomenal stuff, right? That's phenomenal stuff. So ILM is no different. They can make stuff happen. It's some magic happening there to make sure that you wouldn't even know it was actually CG. But because maybe the directors are not so involved with in the handling and making sure it's perfected towards the end, they don't have too much experience with VFX. I mean, I know the Russo brothers, they started off with Winter Soldier with not too much. It's not a huge VFX heavy movie, but maybe they got into it a little bit, and then Civil War happened, and they got to a little bit even more. Little Spider-Man was a little bit rubbery. Thanos is awesome looking, but Ryan Coogler, he hasn't done any blockbuster films, and he hasn't really, you don't do VFX much with the movies he's done. It's a brain fart. Creed, like Creed, or the other movie, the other one with Michael B. Jordan in it. There was no VXF in terms of digital VFX in here. They have to make CG characters and stuff like that. So maybe he looked at it and he thought it was, wow, that tunnel fight scene was cool. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That looks good. When it needs to be perfected. So it needs eyes of the director who knows how to work with a VFX team. And it sounds like James Wan is that type of guy. His comments about he wasn't ready with the CG and the effects that for the Aquaman trailer. That's why he didn't want to show it to the public. He was kind of trying to hold it back and not make a trailer out of right away. Even though the people who watched it at CinemaCon are like, wow, that was amazing. That's not finished. You can kind of see it's not finished, but that is an amazing achievement. And so I think he's a perfectionist in that type of realm, and I am so happy that he is that, because he's going to be the one that tells Industrial Light and Magic, sorry, that you have to perfect that. It's got to be better. It's got to be better. It's got to be better because he has that eye set, and those set of eyes that can really hone in on some perfection. And I think that is a great win-win for all of us. Industrial Light and Magic, guys, don't worry. These are like the forefathers of VFX. They are legendary. They're huge. They're a big company, and I can't be more happy that they're going to be involved with Aquaman, because there's going to be a lot of underwater scenes, and you want to make those underwater scenes believable. Very believable. So that's pretty much with Aquaman. I'm happy that is going on, and it's kind of cool to see all these different movies, right? Aquaman and Shazam, and now Wonder Woman 2. Production seems like it's going well. There's nothing negative out of it, nothing leaking out of it. Everything, all this leaking and of these weird information, disinformation, and all that kind of stuff, pretty much stopped when Walter Hamada came on board. After the calamity that was Justice League, it kind of stopped, and I think that's great. I think Walter, like I said before, Walter Hamada runs a tight ship, and he's making sure there is no leaks, making sure he's not even publicly speaking about it. It's under the radar, and the production goes well, and ultimately the movies will probably go well. And I think that's a really great way to run that company. And that's why, in a lot of senses, like, I know there's not too much news about the Snyder Cut, right? But I was just listening to the Schmoes, Mark Ellis, and Christian Harloff, and this little podcast thing that they do, or they're sitting in a thing, right? So I know a lot of people are not really like him or happy with him at all, and they're hit or miss. But the one thing that they said they used to do was being part of the Scoop game. Schmoes used to be part of the Scoop game with Jeff Schneider and stuff like that, and they mentioned Humberto Gonzalez and stuff like that. They used to be part of those Scoop games, and there was this one movie that Christian Harloff had talked about, and he had a scoop that Chris Pine was going to be in The Finest Hour, right? That movie about they're like the first lifeguards, I think it was, not lifeguards, first first Guardians, the one they're going to save people in the water, and so he got that scoop, and then he called the publicist, and she flat out lied to him, says, no, Chris Pine's not in the movie. Well, a couple days later, they came out that Chris Pine was in the Finest Hours movie, and then he found out later that they just wanted to give that scoop over to a trade like Hollywood Reporter or something like that. So, and that is interesting. And how does that relate to Snyder Cut? Well, this is what I'm thinking, because there's been people like Umberto and Jeremy Conrad, even though it's not a scooper, he just has sources or something, and the guy, wherever the source that Mario Robles has talked to, they all said there's no Snyder Cut, no. But you don't hear anything from at least I don't know, but there's other trades like Hollywood Reporter and all those that haven't said anything. So with that in mind, if the publicist has the right and the decision, and because it's on them, right, who they want to share that information to, they'll just flat out lie to these scoopers, but they'll save that information for, I don't know, Frosty or something. They're saying, we're going to give it to this guy, that information about the Snyder Cut. So we're going to tell you no, but when the time comes, this guy is going to put an exclusive article about it, and you guys are going to get mad, but whatever. We're saving this information. That just like how Christian Harloff was told no by the publicist about Chris Pine being The Finest Hours, and that news was exclusive to a major trade like the Hollywood Reporter or something like that. So that's possibility in itself. So I just wanted to give that out for you who are wondering, who maybe you're a fan of Umberto, maybe you're a fan of Mario Robles, maybe you're a fan of Jeremy Conrad. And Jeremy Conrad, teases us. He's kind of a bully in that respect. But they will say no. My sources says no. Well, maybe those sources, those publicists are telling them no because they're saving that big information, that big exclusive to a major trade, so that when it comes out, it's a big bang. And it's like an official letter from the Warner Brothers lot that the Snyder Cut is going to be released. I don't know. That's my hope anyway. But I heard that from that little show, so I thought I'd share that information about, don't be too discouraged if one scooper says no and the other one scooper says no, but the other scoopers are remaining silent. There is, like I said before, disinformation. They're trying to keep a tight ship. Walter Hamada seems to be really good at that. All 3 movies are coming out. There's not a bit negativity around it, and there's not even a single leak other than some behind the scenes stuff. But for the most part, they're really keeping a tight ship. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.